What is going wrong with Billington? Once one of the most important cities in the world, now Billington is becoming a mob center. Property prices can reach up to 20% for the middle classes. Far-right movement is gaining momentum among the young generation. The industrial crisis that followed the Westland project caused the government to lose more than an estimated 100 billion Taiwanese dollars. Tax cuts for big industrial corporation lead to an unprecedented amount of borrowing from the government. Debt is at the highest point in history. Billington is in chaos, but it all started with the Westland project. For some, the Westland project is a great success, but for the majority of the population, the Westland project was a great scam. Even before it started, people were reluctant and were totally against the project. When the Westland project was over in 2015, well, the outcome was pretty good. The middle class population was growing faster than any other class of population, and well, when it comes to environmental organizations, well, the Westland project was a really big success. But 9 years later, well, the middle class can't afford the Westland district. By the way, the property prices in the Westland district just rose by 20% since the creation of the Westland district. So many rich population was actually moving into the Westland district, kicking out the middle class population that was already in the district. Other than that, the work promised by the government after the Westland demolition of the Westland Industrial Center, they didn't actually meet their targets, especially in the rich class population. The industrial rich class population actually fall and now reach only 10 to 28 billion Taiwanese dollars in the government's GDP. And the middle class population, their industrial zone is actually the biggest, worth more than 100 billion Taiwanese dollars. So many people see it as actually a good shift, but when you see the city's spending in public services, actually that is a really big scam. The government cannot afford the lifestyle of Billington citizens. Public services cuts were planned by the last metropolitan government, but actually no one wanted it. It led to protests in the city center and even led to the last mayor to resign. So where is going actually Billington? When it comes to security, that is actually the worst, since government spending went to Medicare, education and other public services, but for police forces it actually wasn't enough. In districts like Robert Fan or the Billington City Airport District, security is becoming more of an urgent need. For example, last year, the Billington Pride Center near the Circle Arc Riverside District was a proof of how far mobs and far-right movement are growing in the city of Billington. Or the attack on the Billington State Building was another proof of how far the far-right movement is going. In a nutshell, Billington wants some change, but who's gonna bring that change? Last year, the new mayor was actually voted and took oath in office yesterday in front of a huge crowd. Billington wants some new air, that's what he said. But actually, Billington wants a lot more. More spending in public security, more industries for not only the rich and the poor class population. In fact, the poor class population is actually growing, according to some estimates, even faster than the rich class population. So, what is actually the future of Billington, since Billington is actually becoming the most diverse city in the entire Westland? The middle class population reached 800,000 inhabitants. That's the the highest ever in any city in Finland, compared to 1 million of the rich class population. But that doesn't hide actually the fact that yes, the government is actually investing more in the middle class population, and that's right, but what about other sectors such as the industry in the third class population and in the poor class population? What is going on there? So the country has actually no project about that, and no plan has been conducted by any government about the poor class population. So this leads to actually maps created in Robert Fan and the Billington City Airport districts,